which is a launch pad for social innovation. They bring people together and give them the tools to actually launch businesses that will tackle issues like homelessness, human trafficking, people returning from incarceration, all sorts of things. Really something very cool. A lot of neat ideas I've seen come through that can get off the ground. But about 4 months ago, I pitched a card deck that I've been working on. I've run People Helping People, which is a podcast for social entrepreneurship for a long time. And I made this card deck with ideas of how to start a social enterprise. So on one side, it has examples of all these great social enterprises to give people inspiration. On the other side, it gives tools and tips and business models and things that we've done. So I had a successful Kickstarter at the end of April.
Well, successful Kickstarter.
And I finalized mostly my design for the card deck. And then I have been stuck for the last 3 months. And I realized that a lot of the reasons that I've been stuck have been largely mental. Like I've been very scared to actually launch the darn thing. And I've had a successful career in technology. I always think that I'm very accomplished and I'm good at doing things. But this fear has been nuts. Like it's just, I just find anything else to do as opposed to finish it. And it's like, I know it's like 99.9% of the way there. I just need to finish the darn thing. But I find that really, really scary. And I don't know why. It's not something I faced before, like putting something out into the world. And it's like, I don't know if I'm afraid of that judgment. I'm afraid of like what people will see. But I think that's something that's common for a lot of people when you're starting something, just that fear of like, what will people think of this? And it's something I'm very passionate about. So I am putting the final touches on and getting it out the door. And it's just like, I don't know. I don't know what's holding me back, but it's something that's tough. I never thought that would be the case. So, but it is actually coming together. I do have my final rendition, like almost all prototype printers. And so they should be shipping in the next couple weeks. Wow. And another note, Get Back Hack. We are gearing together for our big event in October. It's going to be October 13th this year. It's upstairs on CCAD's they have a nice floor that they let us use. And it's a really fun event for the year. We get people from all different sides of Columbus coming together, from technology, from business, from design, from social impact space, coming together to pitch ideas for social impact businesses. So these are businesses which will be solving something like homelessness or human trafficking, anything. And people collaborate over the weekend. And it's been fun watching those actually come into fruition. So I'm sure next year there'll be some people from Give Back Hack here pitching their ideas and doing that. But I'm excited to share that because it's something I'm very passionate about. I love seeing people use the tools of business to actually solve stuff that's going on. It gives us a new way of addressing issues that sometimes are limited through nonprofits or charities or government. So that's my story. Any questions before we dive into whatever our presentations are for today? Yes?
I get paralyzed at the moment right before launching something like all the time. So
What does anyone have a solution for this? Like, what do you do when you're paralyzed?
well, I have two strategies that have been effective. One is body doubling. So like just sitting down with another person and saying we're going to work and then ignoring each other and doing it. Like, and that works in like an hour increments.
Oh, cool.
And then I finished my dissertation basically by just saying as long as I work on it 10 minutes a day, like the first thing, then no guilt for the rest of the day. And taking the guilt factor off, because the shame spiral that happens when you freeze is really intense and does not help, can be really useful. So just setting very small, manageable goals that don't have not making everything put, just focus. Like 10 minutes. Cool.
Thank you. 10 minutes.
I appreciate you sharing that, and you as well. I wonder if also being like, this could just be version 1. Like, it doesn't have to be the final thing. And then if there is feedback, I'll just come out with version 2. And like, maybe that'll be helpful. I don't know. Depends on what is causing the fear. But I think we're almost ready to get started. I can run the intro now? Okay, Ski was gonna run the intro, but, oh, okay. All right, well, welcome everyone to 1 Million Cups. Appreciate you being here. We're here every Wednesday at 9 a.m. But next week we're going somewhere different. So you might need to share that because I don't even know the address or anything about it. But we're here this week, so thank you for being here. So almost all of our organizers are here today. We're missing Alicia, but she's been here every week, so hopefully you've had a chance to meet her. If you come in the future, you'll get to meet her. She's amazing. Is this working or is it you? Like, so you want me not to worry about this? Okay. All right. So if any of you are wondering, like, what is 1 Million Cups? Like, why is it called that, or what is it? So the Kauffman Foundation has a $2 billion endowment where they want to support, entrepreneurship and local business, and so they support organizations like us to meet weekly. And so there's about 126 chapters across the states that meet at the same time, the same day of the week. So I don't think this is working. Ski, this isn't working. It's not on. So here are all the locations. So if you're traveling and you want something to do, like, you can go to these and you'll see that it's the same kind of setup, the same kind of vibe every week. You'll have 1 to 2 presenters presenting for about 6 minutes on a business or idea that they've had, and they've been in business less than 5 years. Like, why less than 5 years? Because we're interested in the story of the startup, being an entrepreneur, and those pains at the beginning. Sometimes we forget about them when we're too far in. And so we are presenting, we're not pitching. So we're not trying to get any money here. We're really trying to just gain support and perspective and thoughts from our community. And we've been doing a really awesome job of that every week. So let's see if there's anything. Oh yeah, so then we have what I think is the greatest part is at the end. We usually have about 20 minutes where we do Q&A. And there's been a lot of great thoughts coming from our audience, which has been really good. All right, Winston's Coffee and Waffles. They're downstairs. They've been supporting us this whole time since February, since we restarted. They've been great. We really appreciate them. We'll have new supporters, I think, in our new space coming up. A lot of us have presented really cool ideas here, but there's still some of us that haven't. So if you want to present, or you know someone that would want to present, just have them go to 1millioncups.com and present. So you fill out an application and it'll come to the organizers. If you're ready to go, you can just go. If you want some coaching, you can, do some coaching with us as well. Like, it's flexible. All right, one of the last things, go ahead and check in with the QR code that's on your table, because that's how they know that we're actually doing the thing, that we have people coming out every week. And then obviously put your phones on silent. The restrooms are downstairs, water's downstairs. That's it. So we're ready for you, Brittany. If you want to come up, and then Ski, you'll remember the announcement for next week's location and stuff at the end.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So welcome, Brittany, to the stage.
So my name is Brittani Orr, and I am the founder of Kayden Michael Resource Center, humbly serving our community.
looks like they're not completely ready.
It's fine. It's fine. You go back to the. Yeah. Okay. So for years, I've always had the heart to serve our homeless community. In 2011, I received my cosmetology license, and then last year, I graduated with my social and human services degree. My mission was always to combine the two together and change the world. Kayden Michaels Resource Center's mission is a workforce development program that provides transformative haircuts and resources to the homeless by empowering them and making long-lasting relationships. My vision is that to create a community where every individual has access to the resources they need through transformative haircuts, I will build confidence, relationships, and long-term success, ultimately trying to decrease the numbers of homelessness here in our community by trying to get them back into the work field. So the story behind the name. So 14 years ago, I had a stillborn son. His name was Kayden Michael. He did not get to tell his story. So through every haircut, I get to be a part of theirs. So am I the right fit to get the job done? I believe that I will be the right fit to get the job done. I know that I will be a great asset to our community with both of my backgrounds. With my cosmetology license and this, since I've had 6 years of mental health studies, I know that combining the two together, I know I can serve clients that face homelessness and mental health challenges. It does make me the ideal candidate to take on this role to serve our community. Additionally, my excellent communication skills, my enthusiastic personality, and my commitment to provide quality haircuts, and also the knowledge that I have with the resources here in our community, I know that I can support the homelessness here in our community here. So Kayden Michael Resource Center started on March the 6th here at the open shelter on Parsons Avenue. This is the first picture that someone took of me at the open shelter.
Yeah, congratulations.
Since then, I have been to the Van Buren Shelter, the Dream Center. I volunteered at the YWCA, and I've also volunteered with Make a Day. Since March 6th to current, I have serviced on paper that I can account for 57 individuals. I have serviced 26 males and 31 females. So solving the problem. What would be the importance of getting a haircut? When asking our homeless clients here, I ask them, what is the importance of getting a haircut? And this is what they have to say. Okay, so solving the problem. When asked what is the importance of getting a free haircut for our clients here in our homeless community, this is what they have to say.
Give us a brief summary of what she said, because we
So basically, when I asked her, I said, "What is the importance of getting? What is the importance of getting a free haircut once a year?" And she said, "It's because she is actually going out to. She's going to be going to look for a job, right? So they are actually trying to find employment here in our community. However, they want to look presentable when they're going out to look for jobs. Now, I do want to try to partner with certain organizations like Dress for Success or Our Brother's Keeper, so they offer like outfits for I want to be able to partner with them and be able to provide the haircuts, because honestly, when you look good, you feel good, right? I know that back in the day when I couldn't afford to get my hair done, I had to actually learn how to do my own hair. And once I started learning how to do my own hair, it actually made me feel good. I know I feel like $1,000,000. I can have on the raggiest outfit ever, but if my hair is done, I'm like, I can do whatever, you know, and I'm sure you all could agree as well. When you get your hair cut, I know you're like, oh, wow, look at me, I get my hair cut, I look great, right? Or when you get your hair curled, you're like, wow, I look amazing. It's the same. Okay. So Kayden Micro Resource Center Social Impact is to empower individuals experiencing homelessness here in our community with giving them the resources, also providing them confidence to obtain employment and to improve their lives. So measuring the problems from all different backgrounds, right? So I have serviced on paper 57 individuals, right? So asking people from different backgrounds at different shelters, what is the importance of getting a free haircut? And they all have the same thing to say. They are all trying to look for jobs to improve their lives.
Voilà, gracias por hablarme corte de cabello. Es una gran regalo por la entrevista de trabajo. Muchas gracias.
Yeah, this one thing for every girl that she gets every day, just the fact that I'm homeless and I need to get hair jobs, she's going to be getting jobs soon. Other than the fact that she's got her social work degree and that she absolutely is got a cosmetology license and she did a great job today. Thank her, she's such a wonderful blessing. And I hope God gives her her dreams and everything that she desires. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Very lovely. Lovely haircuts. Exceptional woman. Thank you. Here's this one thing.
Okay, all right. So Kayden Micro Resource Center, we plan to generate revenue through grants, donations, and sponsorships from individuals and corporations that are committed to supporting our mission. So our market approach and current status is we plan to reach out to donors, sponsors, and grant providers who are committed to supporting workforce development programs, also the homelessness in our community. I also plan to partner with local shelters. Again, I would like to also partner with beauty schools. I know that the beauty school, they have to have certain hours, and I can have volunteers come and also cut hair. And I want to promote by social media, fundraising, and word of mouth. Actually, I got my first grant from the open shelter. Ooh. So now I'm going to be paid for the next 6 months. So that's exciting. So how can you support Kayden Micro Resource Center? So I am asking for $25,000 because I do need equipment. I'm going through supplies like crazy. I do want to get disposable capes just because the target audience that I'm serving, I want to just be able to throw capes away. I also need abundance of combs. However, if I do become a 501c, I also need to pay to be actually operate as a 501c organization. So there's also fees that are included with that as well. I know that when I do work as a 501c, I can get donations from organizations. I would like to have an office space. You could support me by spreading the word, and you can also follow me on TikTok at Brittani_KMRC. That's all right. How your support will make a difference. This place loud.
First member in the announcement. My hair about 2 months ago, and she's been doing it ever since. She's coming back from work, and she does a great job. A little messy right now, but she's an excellent barber, excellent hairstylist. I can't really afford it if you need someone to help you cut your hair. She does great, she does a great job. Please look out for Brittany and help her journey on making her business stronger and better. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brittany. That was amazing, especially under the duress of all the technical issues. Really appreciate your patience and tolerance. Did a great job with it. Amazing job. So this is the stage where we open it up to the audience. Looks like Alicia is going to be our first question for this morning.
Thank you. Yes, Brittany, great job. So we just met today, but I'm a social worker, and I've done a lot of work around the city, but also in the South Side, and so I really appreciate what you're doing. I know the value of what you're doing. See it in faces every day that, you know, get to get their hair cut or their beard shaved, and they're just feeling it right after that. So I do have a couple questions or thoughts. You might not have an answer now, but just to think on. So one, when you first said workforce development, my mind went to you having a team under you that is training, you know, training to cut hair, training to be working also with the population. But it sounds like it's workforce development or readiness by helping them feel comfortable getting, like going to a job interview. So maybe explain a little bit more on that. And then how do you see yourself growing? One, you're an amazing stylist, but you can't do everyone's haircuts, right? And two, there are businesses already who will take a day out of the week, right, and go offer free haircuts in the community. So just thinking about what's drawing you to be a nonprofit rather than a for-profit that takes time to do this work in the community.
I have thought about that. Sorry. Yes, so I have thought about that. So I have thought about that. I have thought about just making my business a for-profit and just servicing, you know, paying clients, and then certain days of the week servicing our homeless community. But I don't know. I just feel drawn to just service our homeless community. Like I'm not like. And I know that if I can be raw, I know that I can make a lot of money. You know, I'm very good at what I do. But honestly, I'm drawn to our homeless. I don't know. That question, I even asked myself that question that you asked me. Why do I want to do this full time versus, you know, work at just a regular salon and just do it a couple days a week?
One thought to like maybe add in there is, what impact might you have on the for-profit side by having these conversations? They'll be like, oh, you do that on Fridays? Like, tell me more about it. So what impact could you have in the paying community and educating and, you know, on the work that you do? Again, don't have to answer, but just something to think about.
Yeah, I like that. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I just really appreciate, I mean, what you're doing is perhaps even bigger than you might know now. And I feel like you understand its bigness already. Like having been homeless myself, I have kind of worked on different projects, you know, throughout my lifetime, and one of the most compelling ones that I've ever organized is just being able to send youth who are, you know, couch surfing to get a haircut during like spring break or whatever, you know, and just like the stories of going from invisible to visible, unreal. So I mean, I feel like, you know, just diving in is really a beautiful thing, and you will get the support you need. And like the choice to being, you know, for being a social enterprise that is a for-profit and that has a heart is a beautiful pathway as well. So I mean, from a business perspective, I feel like you're going to get sponsorship and underwriting regardless of your tax status. So, you know, like I feel like a community like this one will allow you to just have a sandbox and figure out what works, because it's important that you eat and that you eat well. You know? And also, like, my analytical brain is like, if there's a way to track the journey, the job seeking journey, or all these other things that will eventually become beautiful outcomes to share, like that's a worthy pursuit as well. So like figuring out how to measure, because there are so many things that are like qualitatively measurable as well as like the results of their job interview. You know, there's a lot more to getting a job than a haircut, and there's like it's a big part, you know. So but you're gonna find a whole bunch of support in terms of partnerships, and I mean I feel like Goodwill could, you know, really show up with the clothing line. You know what I mean? Like you have a lot of people in this room who are in like fashion design, so I mean like the amount of collaborative opportunity just in this room alone is unreal. So thank you.
Thank you for that.
I just had a suggestion for the technical difficulties, because I've been there many times. If you caption the videos, that can really help. And the other thing you could do is just put the transcript on a little website, just on webpage, that then or a PDF. And then if they don't play, you'll be like, oh, here, and press a button, and everybody has it.
Okay.
And then won't be trapped by the technology, because that happens a lot. Right? And then the other thing in terms of your business model, you can also, just something to consider is you can, because you have a for-profit or a nonprofit doesn't mean you can't also have a for-profit and they can't be related.
Okay.
So things to think about are like, could you run a for-profit to support a nonprofit, and then and do both? Like, what exactly does it do for you? Not just tax status, donations, funding, things like that. It might be worth talking that through with people who have that business structure.
Thank you.
Hi. So I first want to say thank you for sharing your heart with us. We really enjoyed it. I can say I thoroughly enjoyed your presentation. So just listening to what you have right now and just kind of grasping some of your organizational model, I think that you could do the Tom's approach, just piggybacking off of what Eric said. So buy a haircut, give a haircut, right? I think because a lot of times when we are soulpreneurs, right, the people who have hearts, we give up the money. But the money is what we need to make the impact. And so I think what you have is a viable organization where, yes, people will give, but when you have your own capital, you will have the fluidity to serve the community how you would like to serve the community. So I think because you are a great hairstylist, and haircuts will never be a business that's not needed, adding on the workforce development component and creating a business model that emphasizes the workforce development and the impact of the haircut, and collecting the data needed to continue to get funding as well as making money, I think will be super impactful. grateful. So again, thank you for sharing your heart, and we just hope to, you know, whatever you're looking for from us, that we can give that to you. Thank you so much.
What other questions? Awesome.
How you doing today? My name is Alicia. I'm with the Abundance Economic Network. Just hearing your passion for wanting to be on the ground and on the front line. I know a lot of us share that. And when you said that, and there was mentioned that there are barber shops and beauty salons which already do this, maybe you may consider forming an alliance with them, and then you can coordinate their appearances through the homeless shelters and to wherever else you would like to go. And that would be a way for you to draw revenue and also serve as an administrative application for them. So just consider that. Thank you.
Thank you.
I like that. What other questions? All right.
Have you ever thought about working with the community shelter board and organizing with them as it pertains to having different days at each of the different shelters around the city? As it pertains to giving like haircuts and setting up appointments and things like that? And also seeking maybe funding from them as well?
Thank you.
I like the collaborative ideas coming about. Okay, Colin.
Great presentation, Brittany. I might have missed this. I know you give your haircuts and you do the hair, but how do people know about it? Is it like a pop-up day? You just come with all your stuff and sit it down and say, hey, come one, come all? Or how are you getting that name out there and getting the word out to people?
So I started at the open shelter on Mondays, and so then they started saying that we will have, you know, Brittany come to give haircuts on Mondays. So then I already had like a list of people, and then I was going to a different shelter every single day until I realized, okay, my savings is like, you know, so when I was going to like the Van Buren, I was going every Tuesday. And then when I was going to the women's shelter, I was going every Thursday. So they knew that I was coming on those specific days. So that's kind of like, that's the answer to the question.
If it's, we'll do one more quick question. I'm gonna fit it in. Yes.
Hey, great presentation. I think we already covered this because I came in a little late, but I know you provide the haircuts and service the hair services, but I was wondering if you have ever done or considered partnering with local beauty shops and barber salons to say, hey, do you mind hosting or sponsoring like this week's haircut or that week's haircut, and then getting some type of corporate sponsor to say, will you provide the transportation and the food or whatever to get, you know, a group of volunteers or a group of registrants from this shelter to go to that salon so that more people can get service, and then not all the laborers and the cost is on you. So be more so the facilitator of the services than the actual provider of them, and then expanding your service network right through other people. And then, you know, the tax benefit could be they could donate those hours of time as tax write-offs for those businesses. So like kind of a win-win-win for everyone.
Thank you.
Even if they're sponsoring that week of like supplies that she needs or something like that, and they're not giving. And you know, if you have a salon someday, you can be the one that goes to the community and does all the haircuts, and you have people working in your salon, right? All right, last question. Oh, okay. We're gonna stay on time. She already told us what she needs from us.
Real quick, you said somewhere that you were looking for office space. So where my office is called the Jefferson Avenue Center, and it's essentially it's a nonprofit that serves it houses nonprofits inside of historic buildings over there right around the park of Jefferson Park. So you might look there, and if I can make sure that connection is made.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you. Thank you. Awesome.
Awesome. So in less than 60 seconds, because we like to stay on time for everybody. Just again, what can we as the community do for you? How can we help you?
this was all just amazing. I mean, very, very also overwhelming in an exciting way. Maybe how can I structure being able to do everything that you all told me to do, because I'm just doing this by myself. And this is so my passion. Like I went on a sabbatical, and I really did some inner work, and I know that I'm called to do this. And honestly, like even replaying the videos, I get so excited to watch, because even though you guys are watching it, like I can't remember the moment that I was with that person, and what they share with me. Like they trust me with that information. And I mean, they've been through some rough stuff, and they tell me, and it's like, wow, you trust me with this information. And they've done some really rough, bad things, and they're like, it's almost like, I don't know if like God sent me for them to feel comfortable, but I mean, they told me, I mean, I've been in, proximity with someone who was like did some bad things, and it's almost like they want to say it because they're like, I know you are a safe space for me, and I just talk to them like they're a real person, and so many times they say like, thank you for allowing me to share that, or I've never ever actually talked to somebody about my drug journey. Like I'm like, wow, like they're like, yeah, you actually made me realize some things, and you guys don't understand, like it's just so amazing. Like I am like actually called, like I'm like I try to stop and go to the for-profit side, but it's just like that tug, like something's tugging me to keep going. And so if you all can help me structure it and make it actually a business so I can operate in this thing, that would be the biggest support I could ever ask.
I think you're asking the right crew. So, yeah, we're going to wrap up because we know people have to get places. But, if you're here, feel free to continue conversation afterwards. And then Ski's going to tell us where we're at next week, because I don't even know.
Well, let's give it up first.
Oh, yeah, sorry.